All praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect to the nation of Israel. And this is going to be a video on how, or speaking on how, if Yahweh doesn't judge, right, the laws being broken, how can the world be cleansed, man? Like, and also going into how I remember the exact thing that I was thinking of. Without any judgment for the laws being broken, right? There's no fear of the Lord. Amongst most people in this world, there's no fear, right? There's no fear in this world of people like committing sins against Yahweh because they don't see the laws being, the judgments of the law being judged. Like, people still get judged for breaking Yahweh. I don't want to say people don't get judged for breaking Yahweh's laws, but they're getting judged through Yahweh judging them, but they're not getting, it's not like they're not, no one sees humans no more grabbing up humans and being like, you broke this law, statute, and commandment of Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai, and this is why this is happening to you. Yet an adulterer might still get judged, a thief might still get judged by Yahweh, but it's not openly shown in this world right now that the reason why that judgment happened to that person is because of that person being an adulterer. You see what I mean? Like, people that are born with like ailments and born with like health problems that are permanent and cannot be changed. It's not shown to the world, and it's not known openly to the eyes of men and to the minds of men that that's happening to this person because in their past life they was being wicked and evil. And that's the reason why there's no fear in this world, man. This is Romans chapter 3 and verse 5. But if our unrighteousness commend the righteousness of God, what shall we say then? Is God unrighteous who taketh vengeance? I speak as a man. God forbid. For how then shall God judge the world? Right? For then how should God judge the world? So if God, which he did, he made the whole earth through Yahweh Shai, this is what we as Israelites believe, right? And he set rules on the earth and told people this is the way to follow, right? This is the way to follow. And one of the main laws that I'm gonna get on in this video, man, is adultery, because it's a highly, like, it's a heavy one, man. The adultery thing is a heavy one, right? And in this world, most Jakes would rather commit adultery against their own brother, right, than build an ally with a fellow Israelite. So when they see a Jake out there and they might like but they like the look of his woman, rather than become friends with their own fellow Israelite brother so that they can have a community among men, they're trying to increase their body count by sleeping with the next man's wife and committing adultery, and therefore now being worthy to die, being worthy to get destroyed, man, to be worthy of death now, when they could have instead not did the adultery, right? And been in a situation where now they're building up a community of men that if something serious and major happens in your life, you're going to have more defense as a people from that man, from being an ally to that man, rather than trying to sleep with another man's wife. And that's what a lot of you Jakes ain't got the wisdom to understand, man. Adultery actually leads to lack of trust from one Israelite to the next. And that's why what's written in the scriptures, where it says, because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. The love of Israelites toward each other, the Israelite man towards a fellow Israelite man in this world, is low. They don't trust each other, man. They don't want to have a Jake around because he might commit adultery. They don't trust him, man. Jake don't trust other Jake because they're thinking adultery, thinking he might try and steal something from me. He's going to try backstab and connive against me. He's going to try steal me out of my position. He's going to try and rob my spot, right? That's what Jakes think about other Jakes, man. And the paranoia is a bad thing, right? Sometimes, right? But the paranoia is understandable, right? You might be annoyed when Jake's paranoid about people, about other Jake and all that, right? Even in regard to the truth. But the paranoia is understandable, man, when you consider how much we've went through as Israelite men in this world. Eve's went through a lot. The Israelite woman went through a lot, man. But we've went through even more than her. Because a woman's life is easy anyway. A woman's life can always be made better by a man, right? by a man that's got the certain goods and all that kind of stuff. And certain women are prepared to be side chicks and all that to try and get the certain access to things that they want in this life. But if you're a man and you're struggling in this world, no one don't give a shit, man. They'll laugh you to scorn. They'll mock you. We've been mocked, man. We've been abused in this world, really. We've been ridiculed, mocked, laughed to scorn, treated like we ain't nothing in this world, man. This world don't treat us like we're anything to regard. It treats us with a high level of disrespect, man. We get highly disrespected in this world. People in this world don't really want to take us seriously like that. They don't really think that we're nothing that's worthy of respect like that in this world, man. I think I heard Apostle Gabar or one of the apostles say something like, but these nations basically try and wipe their feet on us, man. And they do. You go out to a place, they don't want to give you eye contact, they don't want to give you no proper customer service. Or even if they do try and give you a good proper customer service, it's not really genuine. You have to you as Jake, you have to overly dress up and try and show like you got some wealth and all that for you to even get treated like with a bit of respect in this world, man. And a good social experiment is to dress up in nicer clothes and see how you get treated versus when you're just in normal, casual, everyday clothes, man. And it's to the and this is a point that you always remember, man, of Apostle Tahar's, that famous Apostle Tahar shirt that you always mentioned, man. That the shirt, like, it's such a nice shirt that when he wears it, people are always complimenting the shirt. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's nice, right? But do you reckon people when they're saying that if you're just in a normal white t-shirt, them white t-shirts that you buy because they're comfortable but they're cheap as hell. They're just 100% cotton, but they're cheap. They're cheap, and it's all stretched out by the neck and stretched out by the arms, innit? And it don't link around the arms properly. It's not a proper fitting one. You think we get treated in the kind of respect in that? But if we're wearing shirts, jackets, and all that smart, so-called smart-looking jeans and smart-looking shoes, and we go outside, then all of a sudden the world wants to try and show us some respect, but that's fake respect, though. That's fake respect, man. Nobody really treats Jake in a neutral way in this world. And like, when it comes to ultimately the laws of Yahweh are disrespected in this world because nobody sees the judgments go out, man. And I was remembering some of the things that were said in the video about how women are out of order and that women are destroying this world, right? And I heard Apostle Tahar go into how women are scared. Women are out of order in this world because they don't see the judgments of adultery get played out, man. Roughly along those lines, that's what he was getting into, and it's very true because if men saw it too, and let's read the judgment, man. Because if people saw that play out, people would think twice when they're being some lustful, adulterous demon, man. And then you've got the elder Rakai coming. He goes into how adultery, intercourse via adultery versus intercourse not via adultery, would pretty much be exactly the same to feel into the flesh, right? It would be the same feeling to the flesh, yet one's a sin and one's not. But Jake don't care and have no fear to try and do those kind of things because they might think, oh, I'm stronger than that man. So what's he gonna do anyway? But on some occasions, that man that Jake didn't think, oh, what's he gonna do anyway? He ends up showing exactly what he would do. Like, you had this rapper called Trouble, and he was on that adultery thing, talking about I ain't scared about none of that anyway and all that. And he's not alive no more. He's not alive no more because he was feeling invincible and feeling like he can't be touched because he's got his little crew or whatever. But that man didn't care nothing about that. He didn't care about none of that kind of stuff, man. Jealousy is the rage of man. And when a man gets angry and rage because of adultery, his strength levels are increased rapidly, man. Sevenfold, man. Even 70 times 7. The places that he's prepared to, the dark places that he'll be prepared to go are different. And that's why Yahweh don't want a world full of adultery, because Yahweh wants his people to be fruitful and multiply. But if people are adulterous and jealousy is the rage of man, that's going to make the numbers of humans decrease, because it's going to lead to people being unalived. Because people are going to have rage in them and want to unalive the adulterer and the adulteress, which is according to the law. And then that leads to what Yahweh's plan is for men, especially the Israelite man, of being fruitful and multiplying, to not happen. People can't in this world don't even have a fear to not even eat pork, man. Here it is. There's literally bare alternatives of food you can eat. Plenty of alternatives. Oh, you want something that's like bacon? Get some damn turkey rashers, man. You can get chicken sausages, you can get turkey sausages, you can get beef sausages, but nowadays just have to have pork ones. There's certain Chinese pork dishes that when I used to eat them back in the day, it used to taste like chicken. So here's the thing, just eat chicken, you know? Just eat chicken then, because it tastes like chicken anyway. So just eat chicken. If someone's designing a pork dish to make it taste like chicken, just use chicken then. Pay that little extra price, pay a bit more, and eat chicken. Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 10, the man that committeth adultery with another man's wife, even he that committeth adultery with his neighbour's wife, the adulterer and the adulteress shall surely be put to death. And that's righteousness, man. Now, we're under grace right now, so that's not going to be the way that it happens all the time in this world. But that's righteous, though. And in the kingdom, this is what's going to happen. Not some of the time, all of the time. And if you're a person out there that's got a problem with that, it's because you're wicked and because really you're an adulterer, right? If when you read this scripture, yeah, you feel grieved in your heart, it's because you really want to get the chance and the availability to commit adultery yourself, right? It's because you really know that you want to commit adultery yourself, man. You've got a still desire to commit adultery, which the flesh is weak and the flesh is wicked, right? So let's not pretend like our body would not have the same response to a woman that we think is attractive, whether she's got a man or not. But we have to turn our eyes away, man, and turn away from wickedness. But some Jake can't do that. They love they'd rather the adulterous version, man. If there's two women, there's literally some Jakes out there in this world that there could be two women, right? Two women, one single, one married, right? And some of these Jakes would rather go for the married one, even though they both look exactly the same. If they both looked exactly the same or damn near exactly the same, some of you wicked ass Jakes out there would still rather go for the woman that's married, because you'd say, oh, it turns at the passion levels. I'm actually, when I'm walking on the street, yeah, and I see a woman that I can tell trying to go on like she's attracted to me, and she's with a man, even if I don't know if it's for certain, man, it could be a brother, could be a cousin, I'm actually disgusted by it, man. It pisses me off. Because that woman's trying to get me to sin. She's trying to sin herself, but she's also trying to get me to sin against Yahweh. She's trying to get me to covet after her and to think lustful, adulterous thoughts in my mind after her, man. She's being a demon. If there's a woman with a wedding ring on and she's all staring all up in your face, yeah, thinking, and you can tell she's thinking all lustful thoughts to you. Women walking on the street with their man, and you're walking there like this. This is what women do. And here's the thing: we ain't no Mr. Olympias around here, and I'm gonna like the runner-ups or the winners of Mr. Handsome of the Year awards, right? We're just normal men, right? We ain't no super Casanovas and all of that. And some of the times when these women are doing these things towards brothers, like that, it's really Satan jumping on these women to try and test the waters and see if you're an adulterous demon, man. It's not because your game's so tight and you're just so smooth with the flow. It's a test from Yahweh through Satan. It's a test, man. Satan trying to sift you out and trying to prove, oh, see, this ain't no man of the Lord. He's an adulterer. He just didn't have the opportunity to commit adultery. But as soon as I threw an opportunity his way, he went for that straight away, Lord. You think that this guy is righteous? He can't be one of the elect. This man can't be worthy. Like how he was talking to Yahweh in Job, the 2nd chapter and the 1st chapter, man. Hebrews chapter 4 and verse 12, for the word of God is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. So if you're a woman out there and you've got a grievance and a problem with the adulterer and the adulteress, surely being put to death according to the law, if that's the judgment. And if you're a man out there that's got a problem with that, it's because within you, you want to still keep doing that. Somewhere within your mind, you still desire to do that, man, and you want to be able to get away with that. You want to come up with things like, oh, but the woman chose me, or when she was feeling me, though. I'm doing him a favor. I'm doing him a favor by showing her that she's a hoe. No, you're not doing him a favor, because you're stealing his property, and you're defiling his property. You're defiling his land. You're not doing him a favor. You're being a demon. and you're breaking one of the two foundational things of the law, to love Yahweh with all thy heart and with all thy soul, and to love your neighbor as you love yourself. If you love Yahweh with all your heart and with all your soul, even if you despise your neighbor, you ain't going to commit adultery on him, on his wife, right? Because you love Yahweh, never mind him. And that's why we don't even do that to Esau, man. Even towards Esau, us Hebrew Israelites, we ain't trying to commit adultery on Esau's wife, man. We ain't trying to sleep with no Edomite's wife. Brothers are all saying now, like, the Edomite woman's all lusting after Jacob, and she does, right? She does that, right? But I gotta say this, like, the so-called white woman and Eve, they're still women at the end of the day. They're all wicked in this society. They're all wicked. So you gotta find, what you gotta do is find a woman that's the least of the wickedness, man. She's gonna be wicked anyway, but you gotta find a one that's a bit less of a demon than the rest. Okay, she's got these. This woman's got 10 demons on her, but that other woman's got 5,000. I guess the one with 10 demons on her is better than the one with 5,000, isn't it? Or this woman's got 25 demons on her, and this other woman's got 24 demons on her. Okay, it's better to go for the woman that's got 24 demons. Oh, but the woman with 25 demons on her has got a fatter ass. It's better to go with the woman that's got 24 demons on her. Yeah. But the woman with 25 demons, she's got bigger boobs. It's better to go. Yeah, it's better to go with the woman that's got 24 demons on her and allow the bigger ass and allow the bigger breast, man. Oh, but the woman with 25 demons on, she's a more of a natural brunette. The other one's a bottle brunette, mate. Okay, you like brunettes? Again, it's better to go. It's better to go with the woman that's got 24 demons on her than the woman with 25. And if you can find a woman with 20, go with the one with 20, mate. If you go with the one with 500 or you go with the one with 25, that's more trouble in the flesh, like Paul said, man. Paul said, if you got a woman, it's better to not have a woman. But if you do have one, it's not a problem. But know that having one, you're going to have trouble in the flesh because now you're going to be worried about what she got going on. There's literally a whole law in the scriptures. Like, people can try and make it like they're so game, so tight and all that. Jealousy is the rage of man, right? There's a whole law in the scriptures about jealousy in regards to a man and his woman. There's a whole law and a whole situation about it. There's a whole like even coveting in general. A man just having a nice car and he just sees people coming by past his house every day hating. That's going to make him paranoid, man. He's going to be paranoid about that. That's ruining his living experience, man. Now he's having to keep worrying about security measures to stop his things from getting stolen, man. And that's why the scriptures say, lay not up your treasures on earth where thieves can steal and moth corrupts. Lay your treasures in heaven. Because even a man can think a woman's his treasure on this earth, but she a demon, right? She a demon and been through all kind of different situations before she ever knew you. It's a hard pill for us to swallow as men in this world, man. But that's the situation that we found ourselves in because we broke the laws. Now we have the full understanding of this thing, that ultimately this is a path that we're going through as Israelite men in order to get to the kingdom, and yet still that don't make it and feel any better. Do you know what I mean? Knowing that we have to go through this still don't make it feel no better. We still have to go through it, but it don't make it feel no better. It's still hell. Jacob's trouble. We know that we cannot, that we know that we have to go through Jacob's trouble to get to the kingdom. That ain't gonna make Jacob's trouble feel any better. Because we have to go, like, we're gonna be seeing a lot when during that time, man. We're gonna see a lot, bro. It ain't gonna make Jacob's trouble feel any better. It's just gonna make our minds, like, wisdom and knowledge. It's gonna be stability of our time. We're gonna be more stable in that time. But it's still gonna be catching hell, though. We're still gonna be catching hell. Let's carry on, man. Let me read this again. And the man that committed adultery with another man's wife, even he that committed adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and the adulterer shall be put to death. Now, I want to read the 10 Commandments as well. 1 second, man. All of the 10 Commandments go into loads of things that, if just even those things got followed, man, the world would be a better place. The world would be a better place, man. Exodus chapter 20 and verse 3, thou shalt have no other gods before me. If that was followed in this world by everyone, people would know, okay, there's no other God before Yahweh, so let's keep all the laws. this way, if this way that Yahweh said is the way to say it, then don't try and put any other God's word before this God. So therefore, you would not acknowledge any of the other gods because Yahweh says don't follow after any of them other gods anyway. So you go with what Yahweh says first, and if anything that Yahweh says first allows you to go and follow after these other gods, then it would be acceptable to follow these other gods. But guess what? When you put in Yahweh first, Yahweh said that you're not supposed to worship none of these other gods. So you can't put none of these other gods before Yahweh, and therefore you're not supposed to listen to anything that them other gods tell people to be about, because they ain't real. Verse 4, thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I, Yahweh, thy power, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me, and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of Yahweh thy power in vain, for Yahweh will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. That would allow people a bit of less stress in their week, man. But in this society, it's all work, 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 work. And then when you look at what people actually have, they ain't even got nothing anyway. They ain't even got nothing anyway, man. Some of these people that are proud of it, even people that are really making six figures and even a so-called millionaire, you ain't really got anything, man. Because millionaires in this world are still stressed. People that are making all six figures has been the big thing that people have been speaking about earning for like the last pretty much almost like the last like definitely the last 5 years, man. Really from like 2020, people started talking about high value man stuff, six figure salary and all that, right? Making six figures and all that. Them people that make six figures ain't all that, man. Like really, if you go from 2013 to now and compare the value of certain things, it's literally gone up 100% or more. So what does that mean about the value of your money? If every single thing had changed in that way, your money's literally less by 100%, by 50%, man. If you was making 100,000 a year and every single thing increased in price like that, really, even though you're still making 100,000, technically, you're really making 50. And if that was to happen a decade from then, really now you're making 25. And if that was to happen a decade again from that, you'd be really now making 12,500, and so on and so forth, man. Like even being a billionaire in this world would still be stressful, man. You're gonna have access to wicked ass. You're gonna have access to women, but then women are gonna be demons, and their first thought process is gonna be when they're getting around you. How can I extract this money from him to me? You ain't just gonna only attract the women that are righteous with that money. No, the women that are demons are gonna be there too, and they're gonna be lust enough after your money, thinking about ways to try and extract it from them, from you to them. Like even Jake can't handle not even getting tattoos in this world, man. When that not getting tattoos would be a simple way to save money. Tattoos can be expensive, man. All these arm sleeve crazy back tattoos that somebody did be getting, them things be costing tens of grands, man. But would be a simple way to save your money. Save your money, and now you've kept that 10 grand instead of getting a back tattoo. Now think of all the other things you could spend that money on. Not coveting, because really coveting is that whole hater spirit, man. Or how Jake say, "Oh, you're hating, you're hate." Yeah, that's really that coveting thing. When you're coveting after someone, you'll be doing what Jake calls hating. Although there's certain time when Jake says that people are hating, and really they're trying to correct Jake from being wicked. Or you shouldn't sleep with that man's wife. You shouldn't be watching him and hate and trying to steal his thing. You should leave him alone. Oh, you're hating. Yeah, okay. Verse 10. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of Yahweh, thy power. In it thou shalt not do any work, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor the stranger is within thy gates. That would allow men more rest in this world, man, which would de-stress people. But this world don't want to do that though. There's obviously a reason why the real judgment of breaking the Sabbath is to be unalived. Now, Yahweh's not doing that to us now because he's having mercy on us. But if the world was just to keep being 24/7 all the time, everything's 24/7, right? People would burn out, man. And it leads to the world being money obsessed in it. Where everyone's talking about getting the bag. Like, everyone can have the bag, man. The basic life that in your society, the basic life, like the average life that people live, should allow them to have at least a house. It doesn't even have to be a big house, man. Some people would be happy having a 1-bedroom house. There's some people out there would be happy having a 1-bedroom house, them and their wife living there, or a 2-bedroom house, them and their wife living there, and they got one child, or a basic small 3-bedroom house. Their child's got a little room, the other child got a little room, and them and their wife share a room. Some people would be happy with that, but this society doesn't even want to give people that, man. And then you've got people out here that don't understand the proper things of finances, and they all think that they own a house. They all think they own a house, right? Just because they got a mortgage. No, you haven't, man. And no, you don't. You don't own a house until you finish the payments, man. They might have just started the payments for a first year, and I bought a house. No, you haven't. You've still got 25 years, 24 years of payments left. The hell are you talking about? You've literally got 24 years of payments left. Talking about you own a house. No, you don't. Why are you lying for, man? You're on the way to owning a house, but you don't own it. Like, Jake in this world even get proud because of having a car, man. But if you don't need a car, okay, people might judge you for not having a car. But if you don't need a car, it's better to not even have one. Save your money, man. Because when it really goes down in this world, a lot of people are gonna wish that you saved your money. A lot of people are gonna wish that you wasn't so proud, man. When your arrogance starts to get humbled, a lot of people are gonna need humbling, man. If Yahweh didn't judge if what, well, let me read what it said again, man, in Romans. But if our Romans chapter 3 and verse 5, but if our unrighteousness commend the righteousness of God, what shall we say then? Is God unrighteous who take vengeance? So if Yahweh started jacking up people on earth, which he's going to one day, when he starts jacking people up on earth because they didn't want to follow after his ways, is he unrighteous now? No, God forbid. For then how shall God judge the world? If God set rules on how men on earth are supposed to live, and they don't judge and they don't follow them, right? Well, then, and Yahweh doesn't judge them by harming people on earth and making them die, making them be unalived, making them catch plagues. If he didn't judge us with the curses, right? How would he have then judged us as a nation? Everyone's always talking about why didn't God just make us perfect from the beginning? Why didn't God just do what he wanted to do? Right? But thou, O man, who art thou to reply against God? Shall the thing formed say to him that formed it, why hast thou made me thus? Who are you talking to? Did you make God, or did God make you? Did you make Yahweh, or did Yahweh make you? You don't question him. When you've made your own sun, your own stars, your own moon, your own earth, your own, excuse me, no, it doesn't have to be earth, your own planet with an ecosystem that naturally flows of itself, yeah, and made humans on it and all these different animals on there, yeah, or made whatever creature you think's the right creature to make, that's going to be the leader of that. When you do that, then you can try and look and judge how Yahweh did his thing. Until then, shut your mouth. And this is what Job was told, man. Where was you when I did this? Where was you when I made Leviathan? Could you bind Leviathan? If I brought Leviathan out of the depths of where he is right now and put him in front of you, could you handle Leviathan for me? Could you tame Leviathan if I brought him in front? These are the kind of things that Job was being told, man. If I brought Leviathan in front of you right now, yeah, and made you stand before him, could you tame him? Because Yahweh knows he could tame him. Yahweh Shai could tame him. Michael the Archangel could probably tame him, but can you, Job? Could you? No, you couldn't. So watch your mouth. Watch how you're talking. Yeah? Even though you're a righteous man, Job, watch your mouth still same way. Even though you didn't actually do anything wrong, Job, to be in this situation, still watch your mouth. And that's what Eli, who was telling Job, like, he's like, yo, what you're doing all this complaining, ranting and raving and crying, but Yahweh can do what he wants to do though. So watch your mouth. And he was a younger man than everyone else, and waited his turn to speak to get off his chest, right? And then spoke, man. We don't get to question Yahweh on nothing. If Yahweh didn't judge the world by putting it with plagues, if Yahweh didn't bring that flood all those thousands of years ago on those people and drown the whole world and save only 8 people, would they have stopped doing what they was doing? Would they have stopped? If Yahweh didn't make languages to stop people from being able to be unified all around the world in wickedness, would they have stopped building that Tower of Babel and all the madness that they was doing? No, they would have carried on doing it, man. And all the people in the flood there wouldn't have even been no Tower of Babel, because all the people that was around in the time of flood would have still been doing the wickedness that they was doing, and would have ruined the earth in that time, man. There wouldn't have been no flesh left to be saved back then. And that was before Israelites even existed. The Israelites wouldn't have even got the chance to do all of their wickedness, because the earth would have been long destroyed way back then. And that's what some of these people don't understand. Like, if everyone wants to try and break the laws and break Yahweh's laws, say that the law's done away with, right? But then at the same time, they'll tell everyone that God's going to burn people in hell. The same God that they believe will burn people in hell for not doing whatever they think whatever their requirements say that make you enter into this so-called hell that they believe in, these Christianities, right? Okay, so if that's what you think that this God will do, shouldn't you try and keep some of his laws then to the best of your ability? Wouldn't it make sense to try and keep more laws than you break? If you cannot buy pork and that means that you're keeping a law, shouldn't you do that? If just growing a beard on your face means that you're not breaking one of Yahweh's laws, don't you think you should do that then? Wouldn't it make sense to do that? But you Jakes are grimy. You love adultery, right? Jeremiah went into it, man. Every man neighs after their neighbor's wife. And I've been getting heavy on this adultery thing because I've seen that you Jakes love that shit, man. You just love it. You love sharing and passing around women like a damn spliff, man. Passing it around. You know, like when you have a damn a party and you have the food, oh, pass me the mashed potatoes, and they pass the potatoes around and everyone puts their spoon in and slops off some potatoes. That's how you women in this world get passed around. And some of you women like to be passed around like that, man. You're through. But the reason why your all enjoyment of this is so high, because you people don't see the world start jacking you up, right? You say, oh, the evil's not going to overtake or prevent us. You all think that you ain't going to do nothing, because where was Yahweh when slavery was happening? He was right there watching it go through, because we broke the laws, man. He was right there, like, yep, I told y'all little nigglets, this is what was going to happen, right? I said we was going to go through the blessing and the curse, right? Well, this is part 28 and 68. You're welcome. And the same God that said that he was going to do that to us and made it happen, he's going to bless us too. So do you want him to be telling it? You want him to be real or not? You want him to stick to his word? He said he was going to do that to us. Okay, if you want him to stop sticking into his word now then? Because if he started doing that and changed his word, well, then he might give it to the Gentiles instead of us. But if he sticks to his word, he ain't giving it to them, and he's going to give it to us. Just like how he gave the curses to us, man. Amos chapter 9 and verse 10, all the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, which say that evil shall not overtake nor prevent us. People don't really believe that Yahweh is going to judge. They all say, when you read about the judge, oh, that was back in the Old Testament. Oh, that was back in Bible times. Oh, in Bible times, people would have went through that, but now we're not in Bible times. We're okay. Keep thinking that. You can keep believing it if you want to. You're gonna find out that we've always been in Bible times. Man, I heard the elder going into that a couple of days ago. The world's gonna find out we're always in Bible times. When people start seeing people are looting and rioting all over the streets, and start seeing metal robots, dogs running around, man, with AKs attached to them. When they start seeing robot androids with Gatling guns for arms, guess what? That's Bible times. When the world starts seeing so-called black men picking up tanks and throwing them in the air, that's Bible times. When the world sees UFOs flying through the sky, right? So-called black men with laser beams coming out their eyes, that's going to be Bible times. When the world sees Esau running around the world like a raving lunatic, obliterating people, that's Bible times. That's going to be Bible times. All this get them out, mate, ranting and raving, crying and trying to say we're the most victims of racism now. That's Bible time. That's all Bible time. But you people, you've got such arrogance towards the Lord and you're so sure of yourselves, right? Even though you're through. People are so desperate in this world for a win that they'll sin against Yahweh to get that win if they need to, man. Everyone's catching hell. Like even some of these jakes that are adulterers and have became adulterers, once upon a time in their life, they went through adultery. So now they've got a thing in their mind where they're like, you know what? It's better to be the one that's sleeping with somebody else's wife than the one that's wife's getting slept with. And y'all have turned that way. But it don't make what happened to you was hurtful and it was wicked, right? But it don't now make you a righteous man that you've decided to. Now you're guilty too. Now you're just as bad as the guy that did it to you before. And you will not be held guiltless, man. Verse 10 again. All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, which say the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us. Now I want to get another scripture because you got this dark lie in Christianity. It says hates the sin. It says he hates the sin, not the sinner. And they've been saying that. And if when I looked it up before, that really is like a quote, twisting of something that Gandhi said. That's not nothing in the scripture. That's something that Gandhi said one time, man. That's some BS that Gandhi came up with. It don't say in the Bible that the Lord hates the sinner, not the sinner. It don't say that. Because why is it that the sinner gets destroyed then instead of the sin? You know what I mean? Like even when it comes to us being under the new covenant, all the sins are still going to be available to commit, just not by us anymore. You know what I mean? In order for Yahweh to get rid of there's two ways that Yahweh can get rid of certain things that are considered sin. Change his laws, right? Or give us the ability to not break them anymore. He's going to do one of those things. He's going to give the Israelites and the Israelites only the ability to never break his laws again. But he's not going to change his laws though, because we're going to be keeping the laws. And the Gentiles are then going to be living in a society where they're expected to keep the laws, and breaking them is going to lead to them sinning. He ain't going to defeat the sin, but not the sinner. No, when the person breaks the law by sinning, by breaking the law, Yahweh's going to allow the Israelites to make them be judged according to the law. And they're going to be worthy of being unalived, even if it meant by natural causes later on in life, because of them sinning. So all this God hates the sin, not the sinner stuff is not true. Sirach chapter 12, verse 6, for the Most High hateth sinners, and will pay vengeance unto the ungodly, and keepeth them against the mighty day of their punishment. So Yahweh, like, literally preserves people to get jacked up, man. And I keep mentioning adultery because it's a heavy one, man. People that like to commit adultery, right? They get away with it. They actually, in an earthly sense, might get away with it. The guy don't know. The guy's too scared to do anything about it. But later on, that guy ends up getting a judgment, man. And the judgment happened because of that. It happened because of that. There's certain people that have did heavy offenses against Yahweh right now. And you're like, man, when is this guy going to get judged, man? When is this guy going to get judged? No, the longer that it takes for this person to get judged, is because their judgment's greater. As somebody getting judged now is getting a lesser judgment than somebody that doesn't get judged until Jacob's trouble. And then the people that are gonna be getting judged, like after we're under the new covenant and we ain't even seen them yet, we're expecting an even heavier judgment. And the elites, remember, are not gonna get touched until we're changed, pretty much, man. They ain't gonna get touched. They're gonna hide them. So a lot of them ain't gonna get touched. Let me get it. Let me explain why I'm saying that. Right, a lot of the people that deserve the heaviest judgments ain't gonna get nothing until we're literally in our last end. Revelation chapter 6 and verse 13, and the stars of heaven fell onto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, every bondman and every free man, hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains, fall, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us, and hide us from the face of the Lamb that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of his wrath is coming. Who shall be able to stand? So there, a lot of them elites, they ain't gonna even have no fear in their hearts until that takes place, man. And that's an extreme event. So you ain't gonna be able to try and roll upon no person that's of that high level that speaks spoken of in these scriptures here, and think that you're gonna do anything to them. They ain't gonna give a damn about what you're talking about. Yahweh Shai coming back to the earth is what's gonna start making them have any kind of fear. Like the people that get judged later are getting a heavier judgment, man. So when you've got a clown like Volker Malone, for example, and we're all thinking, man, when's this guy gonna get judgment? When this guy his judgment's coming, he's coming. Best believe that. But a guy like that's judgment's gonna happen way later. His judgment's gonna happen even potentially after the MOTB is made mandatory, man. A guy like that for all the stuff he's did, he's still gonna be lying his ass off. Even when the MOTB is made mandatory, he's still gonna be out there somewhere still talking about GMS. And his like putting him in the thumbnail, still playing dress up, wearing his little outfits, man, the clown. Like, if Yahweh didn't judge the world, yeah, for committing sins, how would he judge the world then? You people have got to tell us. Because even according to Christianity, they want to talk about like, oh, Yahweh doesn't do this and that to people, but they'll say he burns people in hell. But then if we say that Yahweh said that the judgments are this or the judgments are that according to the law, you people would have a problem with that. But then you all say that Yahweh judges people for those same things. I guess you would have to say that he judges them by burning them in a place called hell forever, which is way worse than what we're saying he's going to do. All the things that we're saying that Yahweh is going to allow to happen on this earth to these Edomites, even them going into captivity, burning in hell forever is worse, you know. There's according to our doctrine, there's going to be times where Esau ain't having nothing physically done to him on the Sabbath. But according to Christianity, like it would be a good question, man, to ask one of these people in Christianity. Okay, it says in the Bible that all the Edomites are done away with. Yeah, are they in hell burning right now? That would be a good question. I'd like to ask one of them, man. Okay, all the Edomites are done away with, right? Yeah, that's what you Christians say. The Edomites don't exist anymore. Where are they? Are they all in hell, burning forever? Is that where they are? Like, who's in hell right now? Because they teach that when you die, you go in hell, right? Okay, are the Edomites in hell right now? Then you ever heard any of them say that? They got this doctrine of a place called hell that you burn forever. They admit that the Edomites did something that made them be all done away with. Okay, are they in hell burning right now? And you won't hear them say that because they love the Edomites because they know that they're them. But anyway, I always get these thoughts according to the Bible that I want to get off my chest, man. And I just go into the scriptures and let the Lord, hopefully the Lord willing, man, is making me flow with what I need to say, man. But I'm going to end this video because I just was thinking about that. People have got a problem with the law, right? But how would Yahweh judge the world then if he didn't judge people physically? Shalom to the elect.